Yeah, my name is Shelby Lee Parks, and I played Amy on Pieces of Amy.
Amazing. And hold on a second. Tell me a little bit about. So Shelby, thanks for joining us. You've got a lot of skills. You do a lot of stuff. You wear a lot of hats. You are a director. You are a director of photography. You are a visual effects artist. You are a model, actress. There's probably more hyphens in
Yeah.
there. Um, Tell me more about acting. How did you find acting?
I actually found acting in 2020, so I never experienced acting pre-COVID, but I found it because, obviously things were a little slow, but I wanted to better my communication with actors. And also at the time, I was doing a lot of like self shooting and just testing things out for when I did was able to work with actors again. And took a couple improv classes and fell in love. Like it completely activated a separate part of my brain that no other art form had, which is pretty rare because I've tried them all, literally. Like welding, woodwork, painting, everything. So I fell in love with it because it not only, excited me as a craft, but it also just made me a better person, you know?
Super cool. And I think that there's a million different dimensions to filmmaking or just being a creative person. You could have held boom, you could have become an executive producer,
Yeah.
but you were focusing on acting. What was the thing that kind of like really triggered you? What was it? Was there like a moment? Was there a class? Was there a person or movie? What was the first thing that kind of were like, this is a thing that I really want to dive into?
As far as like what the initial sign was like for
Well, I
acting
mean,
or
some
what?
people say, hey, I've been thinking about it for years and years and years. It took me
Mm,
a moment to just get on set for the first time. Some people say, hey, I was thinking about it, but I could never cross the Rubicon. Some people say, I read 2 pages of sides
mm.
for a casting director, and in that moment, I knew that was what I wanted to do with the rest of my life.
Hmm.
Was it a gradual thing, or was it sort of a moment?
You know, I think it was a bit of a gradual thing. I think like leading up to taking the improv class, the first class, my best friend was like, you need like, because she would help me, experiment a lot with my ideas. And she's like, I love watching you on camera. You need to be an actor. Like, I feel it for you. Also, she's like kind of psychic. So that was like the initial sign is like, I felt like a lot of people in my life were saying that I should try it out. Um, but as far as like the moment where I was like, wow, I think this is meant for me is like the same feeling I get whenever I'm channeling different crafts. Like I don't know how to explain it. It's so intangible. I'll try to put it into words, but there's this feeling that I'm channeling something else that is not me. Like the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, like when that moment happens, like whether it's a connection with someone else, because I often feel it in relationships too, friendships. It's like this soul familiarity, but I really felt like those moments were happening in an improv class where I was like, I'm channeling something from somewhere far away, and that's addicting.
This was
So,
happening in your real life when you're walking around, or is it strictly in acting classes?
um, that was happening with acting, which is why I continued to follow that thread. But that happens in my life with yeah, again, like with certain people, certain like meditation, hiking, like certain places, like it's yeah, I don't know if I'm explaining it well or answering your question right.
So Rick Rubin has a great little bit about we're all tapped into an infinite amount of signals in the
Mm-hmm.
universe, and some of us are more dialed into these things than others. And at the end of the day, you're channeling this stuff, and if you don't take that moment to capitalize on it, eventually someone else will have the idea
Mm,
because the
yeah,
signals are all out there.
yeah.
Part of the work of an artist is honing your radar to
Mm-hmm.
figure out which signals are important and which of them are noise.
Mm-hmm.
Um, is it like groups of people, their music, or their books? Are there certain things that sort of trigger this kind of thing in your brain where you're like, oh, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling the universe talking to me right now?
It's kind of like a muse, right? Like that's essentially what I would boil it down to is following the muse. And that muse can change in an instant or be the same thing for a long time. Whether that's acting or a person for me, like I'm very inspired by certain people's energy, especially when I'm DPing or directing. Um, and like to what you're talking about, it's like essentially there is like the muse energy. I think it's like the artist where there's a book on it, but yeah,
What
it's
is, what
like
is the muse energy? What does that mean?
the theory you're kind of referencing, from what I understand it, is like let's say the muse energy is wanting to. I'm so sorry, this is becoming so abstract. The muse energy, let's say it's Lion King, right? Lion King. That story needed to be told in some capacity. It didn't have to be lions, but it needed to be told. So the theory is that that story injected itself in a group of people across the world. Could be, somebody picking up trash and like the idea came up. It could be someone at a restaurant, it could be someone in a conversation or a dream. The idea is that someone has to act on that, and until it does, it's going to keep showing up in your life.
Right,
It's going to get louder and
right,
louder.
right.
Um,
The story of a boy who loses his father, who needs to become king. He's the reluctant hero, and
yes,
eventually he will rise to avenge his father's death.
exactly.
It's a
Yeah.
story as old as
Mm-hmm.
humans. It has many echoes.
Mm-hmm.
Someone just said it needs to be lions, and I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it a cartoon.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah, somebody did it. And the story can be retold in many ways, like if especially if it's something in our genetic code or like generational, like we talk a lot about generational trauma these days, or at least it's kind of in conversation in my space. But whether it's generational trauma or just like history, um, whether it's like just primal human history, like there are certain stories that get told in new ways over and over again because it's just such a part of us.
that's
Yeah.
cool. That's cool. How did you find this project?
I found this project. I got an audition in my inbox, and it was for Taylor.
It was for Taylor.
And yeah, that was the first. Yeah, I got an audition in my inbox. It was for Taylor. And when I sent in the audition, I was like, I don't know if I'm right for her. Like, I know she's so like, she's got this life about her, and she's so like activated and like got this like lightness. Yeah. And I was really trying my hardest to get that across, but I have been told that's not my strong suit.
The lightness.
the light the light What's the thing is like I do have lightness in me, but I think it just translates a little differently than what I thought the role was calling for.
But you got a call back.
I got a call back.
And how did that work?
um we did callbacks, and it was like, hey, you're not gonna read for Taylor, it was for Amy,
Yeah,
right?
that's
Am I
right.
remember that right? Yeah, got a call back for Amy.
That's right.
Yeah, which was very exciting.
And what was your reaction? So you're reading for this character that maybe you're sure you could have played, but maybe you weren't connecting with as much. Was there a different vibe for you when you were reading for Amy?
Yeah, Amy, I just felt instantly connected to. All the pages that saw on her for that audition, I was like, oh, like it's easier for me to kind of like switch into her, and like give her a part of me, and then also like take the part of her and like try and give it a voice. Hmm.
Is so which is it? When people are playing roles, are they bringing all their experiences together to figure out how to play this person? Or is there something about the person where they're like, oh, this is maybe a part of me. There's something in this that resonates with me. Like what is the series of events or series of raw material that says, okay, I can do this and I can really knock this one out of the park?
Mm. I think at the beginning of my acting career, which is kind of when I got this audition, I was putting a lot of pressure on myself to like be something else that wasn't me, right? So when I was originally reading for Taylor, I was like, oh, she's over here, I'm over here, I'll never be her. Let me try and like put it on. and it just like doesn't fit. You know, it's not authentic. So I think between the call, like doing the original Taylor audition and doing the callback for Amy, I think I did a lot of growth as an actor to be like, oh, who what I can bring to the character is something that no one else can, and whether that's right for the project or not, that's up to the universe. But I think with Amy, I was like, I can bring my essence to it, but I also, yeah, want to give her her voice.
You showed up and did a. I was still auditioning other Taylors. You came in and read for Amy across a couple of different Taylors.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like watching someone else now play this other person that's sort of over here?
It was relieving, honestly. I was like, I feel so much more like just rooted in Amy's character. And it was a lot of fun. It also vastly different. Everyone brought something so different, and that was a great learning moment for me too, acting wise, like saying this could be a completely different movie, and like it takes one person,
Yep,
you know.
yep,
But that goes for behind the camera too. Like if we didn't have Tom, for example, had somebody else doing lighting, completely different movie,
that's right.
you know. Same with acting. So
Yeah,
that was
that's
cool.
cool. So we go through this long journey. It was a long journey, casting and rehearsing. What was it like for you getting on set? First day, first days on set. Were you feeling scared? Were you feeling super prepared? I saw the script that you had printed out, and there was 1,000 post-it notes all over the script.
Yeah,
So you must have been super prepared when you showed up.
very prepared. You know, the obvious prepare like I mean, the baseline obviously is to be off book and know your character and know the story. But I really wanted to the post-its actually represented like different kind of like different threads or timelines because there is a lot of like dream like different timelines, what's real, what's not real. I separated them out by scene, by emotion. I looked at her emotional arc because obviously she goes through a lot in the film, and I didn't want her tragedy to feel the same in every scene.
So cool.
So I like, you know, heartbreak looks a lot of different ways. Like you could be, you know, fight, flight, or freeze. Like what are you in that moment? I think at the base, Amy is probably a flight or fighter. But I didn't want like every single, um, I guess, unfortunate thing that happens to her to feel monotonous.
Fair.
Yeah.
Totally fair. So you get on set, everyone sits down, we go through makeup, we call
Yes.
action.
Yeah.
What are you feeling in that first moment?
Oh, so excited. I mean, that's the best part. It's like freaking summer camp. It's like play. It's like being on a playground again, which
Yep.
is so hard to find as an adult. But like getting to work across other actors who are equally as talented and prepared and just like bring things that are so unexpected, that is like the addicting part. It's like, what are they going to give me? What can I give them? Like, oh, I have goosebumps.
Ha
Yeah.
ha ha.
I just
I
love it.
think for me, the first take is great to finally get there. There's so
Yeah.
much bullshit just to
Yeah.
get to the first take. But man, that fourth take, after we've given notes and we're adjusting lights, we get to that third or fourth or fifth take when
Mm-hmm.
you're really locked in.
Yeah.
Are you are you at that point? Are you still looking for cues from other people? Or are you so deep in the character at that point? You're just like, I'm Amy at this point.
You know, the first take you're just excited and wearing off the jitters, like you're saying. The by the fourth take though, I'm just if I'm doing my job right, I'm just listening. You know, I am like in that moment with the actor across from me, and I've done the work to the point where I don't have to think about being Amy, I just am. And I get to react as if I'm hearing the words for the first time in my life, you know? And that's where the magic happens, I feel, for sure.
So you shoot as Amy for 12 hours, 14 hours. We did non-union. I can say this. 16 hours. You get home. What do you do when you get home? You're still Amy at this point.
Yeah, I mean, everyone has different rituals. My particular ritual before even going to set is I do sense work, so smells, sound, and clothing. So that means I wear a different essential oils for Amy than I would as Shelby.
Deep.
Yeah. So Amy was more of a kind of smoky florally scent, whereas like who I am is Shelby is definitely more like amberwood, sandalwood, like more foresty. So that helps me kind of like because it's really important when you're doing like horrors or like super emotional scenes to like enter safely and exit safely to protect who you are as a person and to like yeah, I was accidentally trained method and didn't realize it. So since then, I've the rituals are so important. So when I get
Meaning
home,
you were stuck prior to that. You were getting so deep in a
yeah,
method
I would
stuff
just get stuck in it and like using personal experience and like stuff like that for me personally wasn't safe to do. So
because you would show up at Starbucks and you're still carrying this other person, or you're super in touch with trauma or big experiences in your life.
yeah, like I think the best example I can use is a film I did prior to Amy. Um, we were in a scene where it was a fight scene, and obviously things are choreographed, stunts, all the things. The idea was for the villain in the movie to punch me and I would fly back. So we're doing the first take of that scene. It's a wide, and I get so lost in this scene that when he like pretend punched me, I flew back and I hit my head on concrete. And
I
it was a wake up call for me. I could have been seriously injured. um, everybody froze. They kept rolling, and they used it in the movie. Thank God. But for that, I was like, "Whoa!" I was
too lost.
too lost in it. So luckily, like between then and Amy, I found a lot of tools and solutions from my community at the time, and in a way to yeah enter and exit a scene or a day safely. So by the end of the day, when I'm done with Amy and I've got blood all over me, I do my skincare routine. I put on some music. I have a playlist of all my friends' songs because a lot of my friends are musicians, so I can hear their voices. Talk to my mom, um, put on like things that smell like me again. Stuffed animals. I love stuffed
Cool,
animals.
cool. I
Yeah.
love it. Tell us a little bit about what else you're working on. What do you got queued up for this year?
Um, kind of a mixed bag. I mean, I am DP and a director, so a lot of my next projects in this moment are DP related. Got a couple short films, a feature in the works. A big goal of mine in 2025 is to do something that is original IP to me, something I've written, whether it be a feature or proof of concept or something. I'm leaning towards feature though. Um, and then acting wise, I guess we'll see.
Awesome. Thanks so much for coming.
Yeah, thanks for
Appreciate
having
it.
me.
My assistant was on vacation, as I mentioned. Um, cool. So why don't we start out with can you just tell us a little bit about yourself? Name, what you did in this movie. Tell us a little about yourself.